The history of aviation is filled with incredible triumphs and terrifying mysteries, but nothing in modern history compares to the baffling case of Malaysia Airlines Flight 370. How does a massive, 300-ton Boeing 777 simply vanish without a trace? It was March 8, 2014. 239 souls boarded a routine red-eye flight, scheduled to fly from Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, to Beijing, China. In the cockpit were Captain Zahari Ahmad Shah and First Officer Fariq Abdul Hamid. The weather was perfect. The plane had no mechanical issues. Everything was completely normal. For the first 40 minutes, Flight 370 climbed to its cruising altitude of 35,000 feet. As they approached Vietnamese airspace, Malaysian air traffic control handed them over. The final radio transmission from the cockpit was calm and routine. "Good night, Malaysian 370. But just minutes after that sign-off, the plane's transponder was manually turned off. MH370 vanished from civilian radar. When the plane failed to check in with Vietnamese authorities, panic set in. A massive search and rescue operation immediately began in the South China Sea. They searched for days, finding absolutely nothing. No debris, no oil slicks, nothing. But then, the Malaysian military revealed a shocking piece of classified information. Primary military radar, which just bounces radio waves off objects, had tracked the plane. After the transponder went dark, whoever was flying the plane executed a sharp left turn. It flew right back over the Malaysian peninsula and headed northwest into the Andaman Sea. As the plane flew over the Malacca Strait, it made a strange final bank near Penang Island, the captain's hometown. Some believe it was a final goodbye. At 2:22 a.m., military radar lost the signal completely near a waypoint called GIVAL. From that exact moment, MH370 was officially in the dark. Why would a plane turn around? Was it a hijacking? An emergency? If it was a fire, why didn't they land at one of the many nearby airports? Instead, the plane flew in total radio silence, flying out of radar range entirely. Meanwhile, morning came in Beijing. Families stood at the arrivals gate, staring at a screen that slowly shifted to a terrifying blank space. For days, the Malaysian government gave conflicting statements and kept military radar data secret, forcing international teams to search the wrong area. It was a massive blunder. While dozens of ships searched the South China Sea, the plane was already thousands of miles away. The realization was agonizing. The plane kept flying straight into the unknown. Just when investigators thought they had lost the plane forever, a British company named Inmarsat stepped in with a miracle breakthrough. They had a satellite in geostationary orbit over the Indian Ocean that caught automated data from the plane. Even though the main communication systems were off, a terminal on the plane was still automatically trying to connect to the satellite. This system sent an hourly electronic handshake, or ping, back and forth. There was no GPS data. But by analyzing the Doppler effect and the timing of the signals, scientists made a breakthrough calculation. The plane continued flying for another 6 hours along one of two corridors, north or south. The northern route went over heavily militarized countries like China and India. Someone would have seen it on radar. Therefore, it had to have gone south, into the remote, unforgiving southern Indian Ocean. It flew blindly into the dark until it simply ran out of fuel and plunged deep into the sea. How did a modern commercial jet end up as a ghost plane? There are three main theories. Theory number 1, a catastrophic mechanical failure or fire. A fire could have destroyed the electronics, forcing the pilots to turn back before they were overcome by toxic smoke. The plane then continued flying on autopilot as a helpless ghost flight until the fuel was gone. Theory number 2, mass hypoxia. A sudden, uncontrolled depressurization of the cabin could have knocked out the crew and passengers within seconds. But the most chilling and widely debated theory is theory number 3, the rogue pilot. Many aviation experts believe the captain intentionally locked the co-pilot out of the flight deck. He then disabled the communications and flew the plane into the most remote part of the planet. The FBI later found a flight path on the captain's home simulator that eerily matched the plane's final route into the Indian Ocean. For over a year, not a single piece of evidence was found, until July 2015. A part of an airplane wing, known as a flaperon, washed ashore on Reunion Island off the coast of Africa. Serial numbers confirmed the horrifying truth. It belonged to MH370. Over the next few years, more than 30 pieces of debris washed up across the African coast and Madagascar. But despite the largest and most expensive search in aviation history, the main wreckage, the black boxes, and the passengers have never been found. The families of the 239 passengers and crew are still waiting for definitive answers. Until the black boxes are recovered from the bottom of the ocean, the exact truth remains a mystery. The disappearance of MH370 remains the greatest unresolved case in modern aviation history.